I'm Brandy Fraser, and this is my course summary video. The background is that this is a required annual course, meaning that all employees must take the course every year. My department at Johns Hopkins Hospital works with nurse educators who provide professional development to the nurses, so our job is to create learning and training materials based upon what the nurse educators request. One nurse educator reached out to request us to take a PowerPoint and update it into a functioning course. That task fell to me, and I have been working with the SME and the content they gave me to create the course. The purpose of this course is to review the cardiac support devices, the HeartMate 2 and HeartMate 3 LVADs. Throughout the course, learners will review the features of each device, placements, meaning where it is implanted, the different components or parts of the LVAD, and the functions of each component, as well as appropriate short-term and long-term patient care, as well as emergency maintenance and reminders for good care. As far as the learner requirements or audience, it will be all nursing and medical staff in the surgery department at Johns Hopkins Hospital that work with patients with a HeartMate LVAD. The range will be from in between new and veteran staff members, since this is a required course. I'm expecting that the learner will have some familiarity with the HeartMate, and they will have access to the course at the hospital during the workday. For technology, a laptop is the preferable method for learners. Staff members at Johns Hopkins Hospital are issued a laptop, so everyone should have access to one. The learner will also need internet access, since I will be using Canvas as the LMS for this class. There are 7 modules throughout the course. Module 1 focuses on welcoming the learners, stating course instructions, and setting the learner up for success. Module 2 dives into the course overview, with learners being able to see how the course objectives, activities, and assessments are aligned, and take a pre-assessment to start an engagement with the material. Module 3 is where learners will go over the similarities and distinct features of the HeartMate 2 and 3. The next module, Module 4, is where the system components will be introduced and thoroughly reviewed. Throughout Module 5, learners will review short-term and long-term patient care, including troubleshooting and issues and emergency maintenance care, as well as reminders of appropriate care. The conclusion will review the main points of the course and contact information for the department. It is also where you will find references and copyright information before ending with the final quiz module. Throughout the course, there are opportunities for learners to complete non-graded knowledge checks to informally assess their understanding of the material. There is 1 assignment and 2 discussions that align with the course objectives, and a final quiz at the end in which the learner must earn an 80% to pass. The terminal objective is, by the end, the learner will be able to describe the components, functions, features, patient care, and emergency maintenance of the HeartMate devices. The enabling objectives throughout will have learners identifying the features, placement, and components of each device, describing the functions of the different components listed in the second objective, and identifying appropriate short-term, long-term, and emergency patient care guidelines. The objectives are aligned with all course content, and each aspect supports a course objective. The learners will be able to see the table in the course overview that analyzes how the objectives align with each course activity, so they know each part of the course is intentional and going to contribute to them finding success with the terminal objective and final quiz. For the course evaluation, I chose the Quality Matters rubric, also posted on my portfolio page, since this is considered continuing education. For a course to be effective enough, you would need to get an 85% when grading all the standards of the course. I got a 94%, so I think my course is effective enough. Some noted strengths were my clear course design and the measurable outcomes and alignment of the learning objectives and assessments. Some noted needs were the lack of privacy policies that learners would be aware of at the beginning of the course, I could only find Johns Hopkins University policies, not Johns Hopkins Hospital policies. So I could not use them since the hospital and university are different entities. I was not able to find the links to learner services or resources that I could incorporate within this course. At the hospital, employees use the My Learning LMS, and there are supports offered to employees within there, but for the purpose of this class, I don't have access to them since I'm using the Canvas LMS. I hope you enjoy the complicated subject of heart rate LVADs and enjoy my course.